Good morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome to today's video, which is an exciting one. I'm training with a special guest who will be revealed very shortly. We're just on our way to go and meet him now. So we've got a run to do, we've got a swim to do, and then we're just going to talk through my season, the build up to Kona, and yeah, everything that we've got planned this year. I think it's going to be a great video. It's going to be an insightful video into like all things training and racing and all those sorts of things, but also I think it's going to be a tough video because I don't know what the actual sessions and specifics of the sessions are yet, but I'm assuming it's going to be a longish run with some efforts in, and then I think a technique based swim. This special guest will look at my swim and hopefully give me some pointers in how to improve it and hopefully how to get faster. I think that's going to be really helpful both for myself and hopefully for the vlog. If we can get any tips on here, then yeah, that should be good. As you can probably tell, we're not in the UK, we're out in Lanzarote at the moment, and if you will have hopefully watched my previous video, which was a full week of training out here in Lanzarote. So it's Monday today. Last week was a big training week. I think I clocked 18.5 hours. Overall, it was a really successful week, and it has been a successful couple of weeks, which has felt nice. I've been sort of on and off with a bit of illness and maybe lacking motivation sort of over Christmas times. The past couple of weeks have been really productive and really consistent, so I'm really proud of myself for that. And other than a bit of a niggle in my hamstring and my calves feeling a bit tight, overall I'm feeling good. It'll be interesting to see how this run goes, and when we meet up with said guest, we will discuss what the run's actually going to be. One that I'm going to be able to do given how fatigued I am and given my niggles, but yeah, we want to make it productive, finish these 2 weeks strong and go home hopefully feeling fit.
Good.
Special guest acquired. Are we doing all right? You're good.
So, special guest, welcome to my coach, Grant Sheldon, pro triathlete, coach, and I'll let Grant introduce himself.
I've done triathlon for far too long. Started when I was a teenager, spent a good time racing professionally, over a decade, kind of latterly towards the end of that, get into coaching, which is why I'm here now.
You kind of didn't really talk through all the things that you did in your actual...
I was going to say there's some amazing results.
I was going to say, yeah, you kind of put yourself down there, so you do yourself much service. So
That would be a good question. Grant, what would you define as your career high result?
That's a really challenging one, but my personal best results weren't as good on paper. The closest I got to the top was 4th at the WTS race. 2 top 10s, European Championship podiums, World Cup podiums. I guess the ones that kind of meant the most to me were the ones that I was kind of on the back foot, in particular in Edmonton, Canada. I remember, and I was a terrible swim, but really worked on the bike and was able to kind of come through. And I finished 8th or 9th, I think. But I was really proud of it.
Well, and that was a huge reason. We've been working together for a year now, but
yeah.
When I sort of saw your experience, that was really impressive for me, because I want to work with someone who I guess has been at that level and who understands that. Not that I'm going to be a professional triathlete, but I like to hold myself to a high standard, and I know that you have experienced so many different things in your career that you can pass on all that knowledge to me, and how to overcome negative self-talk. We've spoken a lot about confidence as well, and that's been really important for me, and that's why I reached out to you. It was about a year ago now, actually. It was when I was in Lanzarote last year. Yeah. And we reached out and we started working together in February, so it's been a year.
We had a call with really bad phone signal.
And then yeah, here we are a year later, and we're going to do a training session together. Talk us through today's run session.
Really simple day today. The tough week and a half.
Big.
Week and a half in Lanzarote. We've got through a lot of volume, which has been great out in the sun. A little bit of fatigue in the legs. So today we're just going to go at a long, steady run. The goal is just to get some time on feet, get Laura a little bit more resilient, get her used to going at a steady pace. Maybe I can even hold her back a little bit on today's run. Yeah. Got a rough time in mind, but we might just see how things go. And then we've got a swim. I think just a really good opportunity to watch you swim.
Yeah. And that's what I thought and had said before. I think this is an opportunity for you to give me any pointers and improve my swim. Will it be your longest run in a while, or have you a PB run for Grant as well?
Laura might smell blood and start up in the pace.
Let's get ready then.
Grant looks nervous.
Yeah, what? Grant looks nervous.
It's my longest run in maybe 8 months training.
There you go. What is Laura's biggest work on point for Kona this year, do you think?
I think we've got 2 things.
Here he goes, reels off a list of things.
No,
I'm joking.
I think, listen, you're a phenomenal athlete. Very, very strong. Nice balanced across the 3. I think number 1 thing from looking at last year, when we look at how strong you are on a bike, the power that you put out during races was really quite low.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was down to the bike fit.
Yeah.
But I think a big part of that, looking at you as an athlete, is just getting you more aerobically conditioned. Get used to burning a little bit more fat at a higher power, and I think that's going to transform you, certainly your bike and your run, most likely. And then secondly, Kona's hot and hard.
Kona is hot.
And we've not really done some heat prep before, so this year we're going to try and go through some heat prep a few times, just try and practice it, get you more and more conditioned to it, and then so that when we get to Kona we know exactly what we're doing.
I definitely agree. The year when I was at uni and then
What's the best thing about triathlon? And then what's the worst thing about triathlon? Let's go Laura first. What's the best thing?
I think, well, personally, for me, I just think it's like the opportunities and the places you can go and visit. I think if, like, with the races all over the place, it just gives us a really nice opportunity to go and visit different places and explore and stay healthy in the process. And I like the variety of triathlon, like, mixes it up, doesn't it? You're not just running or swimming or cycling. I just like the variety of it as well.
Best thing about triathlon, I think, is it makes you fit to do whatever you want. So
Nice.
You can then go and enjoy life, go hike up a mountain, go really long bike tour. You can literally do whatever you want from training.
Yeah, I love that.
It opens up so many opportunities, just being fit in general, but I guess, having a purpose triathlon, that's a great one.
Go on then Laura, what's the worst thing about triathlon?
Oh God. I think, well, I was going to say, most people would say it can be quite isolating, but I'm a bit of a loner, so I quite like that. Well, I guess like anything, if you are committed to something, it takes over your life, and sometimes that can come with sacrifices of, you know, maybe not seeing friends and family.
I would say the same thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would say the amount of time that it doesn't have to take, but it can take.
Yeah.
If you take it to a level, you prioritise it up here in your life. I think the time can be quite all-consuming.
The negative of a triathlon can definitely be like the high barrier to entry with, like, financially it can be quite an expensive sport, or a very expensive sport, and like the more and more triathlon goes on, the more and more kit that's coming out and tech, and everyone, like, with social media, thinks they need like the best of the best to enter, and you've got, you know, complete amateurs thinking that they need like £300 pair of super shoes to do their first ever triathlon, or, you know, a £10,000 bike, and that can like take away, I guess, from what triathlon is.
I think one of my big things is definitely that barrier for juniors.
Yeah.
You know, in the performance world, that makes a big difference, and I don't know, there's how wealthy your parents are can directly correlate to who gets on the team and who doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, on that
Completely.
level as well.
Who is your biggest sporting inspiration?
Well, I guess this is my 2 answers to this. The first one being, I was saying to Grant just before, my mum and dad have always been into like running and triathlon far before I ever was. So we would always like enter, I don't know, 10Ks together, or my first ever open water swim I did with my mum and dad. My first triathlon I did with my dad. So I guess like getting into sport for me, I've always been inspired by my parents doing it. That's been like my biggest driver, I guess. But I guess, who I look up to in the sport. I mean, it's going to be super cheesy and say Lucy Charles Barkley because she's just my idol.
Nice.
And again, well, like, yeah, she's just incredible what she does, but I think she's overcome quite a lot with like injuries and stuff, and I think her mindset and her dedication to the sport and like how she holds herself to such high standard, I think like that's the mindset and the attitude I really admire.
Similarly, my parents were always really sporty and got me into the sport. And not that they were into triathlon, but they were, you know, sporty in their own right, and definitely looked up to them a lot. With regards to idols though, I never really had one. I took a lot of inspiration from the people I trained with, the coaches I had. But there was never one athlete that I thought, you're absolutely amazing. It just never happened. But I did train with a lot of really, really impressive athletes. Mr. Charles.
I really do. I think I'm jealous of all her sponsors and all the kit and everything she's got.
Have you met her?
Met her once at Old Towers 10k, just like fangirled her. I was like, I love a picture of you. I really just admire. I mean, she doesn't seem very, very talented. I just admire. She's overcome quite a lot of injuries and things like that. And yeah, she just is. Yeah, she's an absolute badass.
The most impressive thing I've ever seen her do was come to ITU and absolutely smash it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first couple of races.
Yeah.
That's a learning curve for a lot of people, and she was just good enough, strong enough, fit enough that she didn't have to learn all the skills.
Amazing. I mean, there's loads of female athletes in the sport now that are just badass. It's like Kat Matthews as well.
British females, I would say.
So inspiring. So Kat Matthews, again, from what happened with her and her comeback, and she's like stronger than ever after her accident. Those are the sorts of people, their mindset, that I'm like, that's cool. They can do that, I can do this 2-hour run.
What do you reckon the most fun triathlon distance is? Or the hardest? Hard but fun. Because everyone always goes, everyone always says the hardest is Ironman, but I don't actually think it is if you actually push Olympic and middle distance and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done a sprint or an Olympic when I've been, I guess, this level of fitness. I've only ever done them to be like, oh, I'll just enter a triathlon, never been coached for them or anything. So I imagine when I go and do, Southport Standard, I imagine that is going to hurt a lot because it's just all out for like, what is it, 2 hours? Is it?
Yeah.
However long it's going to take me? 2 and a bit hours. And to be honest, I think that is going to be really, really hard. That's going to be a huge challenge. So I guess with Ironman, yeah, you can kind of just get into your rhythm. Like, it's a long day out, but you kind of just get around. So that's not really an answer.
I think that's a really challenging question.
It is.
Everything's maximum, isn't it? Which type of pain do you prefer?
Yeah, long pain or short?
Yeah. Choose your poison.
Very mentally resilient for those longer distances, and it can become a very long and painful day out.
Yeah.
If you're not mentally prepared for that. Oh, well done. That was
Feel alright?
long. 2 hours going on, 2 hours 30 seconds.
Nice. How do you feel?
23k, 22.5k. Good to just like chat the way around it with someone, but it does make it a lot harder when you. I know it's supposed to be conversational, but it does increase the difficulty.
100%.
And the heat as well was quite hot today. I'd say hot, it's probably on like 90.
Should we go get a coffee and a drink off it then?
Yes,
Let's do that.
definitely.
What was the run then?
That was really great. I'm proud of that because of how much training we did last week and how big our bike session was yesterday. So I was a bit worried about how that was going to feel, but that was a nice confidence boost. My calves were fine, hamstring a bit sore, but again, that's probably to be expected. I think that's just fatigue. Like, it's not painful enough to stop running. It's not an injury, it's just there, but that's fine. And I felt good. Can you pass me my water?
How do you feel? Why am I still on water bottle duty, Emma?
What do you mean why it's still more bottle duty? You're not helper today.
I'm the helper. How are you feeling?
I'm alright.
Good. You're doing a bit of technique with Grant anyway.
Technique and not hard.
Nice chill session today. Nice chill session. 2 200s. Just a nice and steady swim, and I'll just watch and see what you see.
Scary when you get watched, when you're like feeling, I don't
Analyse.
know, yeah, you've got to get everything perfect.
Just swim how you swim. You won't change much.
Easier said than done.
How you feeling?
A bit fatigued, like I'm more tired than I would normally be, but
How's your stroke feeling?
I feel smooth, like I feel fine. Maybe it's a bit more out of breath than normal. But,
Looks good.
yeah?
Looks really, really good. The one thing that I think we could maybe do a little bit of work on today, what I saw when you are pulling through it is more so on your left than your right. You're in very good position. Get in nice and deep, a nice position to start the stroke, and then you just accelerate too fast.
Okay.
You go from 0 to 100
Right.
quite quickly. I don't know if you can feel it, but we'll try and get you to feel it during this session.
What about, I've been told before that I don't like really rotate, like I just swim flat, or is that look alright?
I thought you looked good.
Okay.
I thought you looked really good. I thought nice position here, nice and smooth. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, we might do just a few faster 25s and see what changes. When you look steady, you look smooth, you look good. Let's just go 550s, and we'll just trying to get a little bit more feel for the water before we progress that on. Just skull swim.
Still letting.
Yep. When I was a kid, if we didn't do something right, like breathe before we got to the flags or something like that, we would get a kickboard, wait till you got to the end, lob it, hit you in the head every time, got you out, do 10 press-ups. Minimise the movement here. So you're doing quite a lot of sculling, and I think it'd be nice. I mean, you're doing it correct, you're doing it well, but I think it'd be a nice challenge just to try and minimise the movement and still move through the water.
Sort of like, I guess like a figure of eight, sort
Yeah,
of
just back and forth. Just try and feel where there's pressure.
Sort of like elbows out, but
You're in the perfect position.
staying still.
Perfect
Okay.
position. Stay there. Just try and minimise.
Yeah, because then it becomes a bit frustrating, doesn't it?
Awesome. Right, next one, I want you to do some pull throughs underwater. Okay, so double arm pull throughs, and we're just going to do another 450s, drilling the way up, swimming the way back. Arms out in front, head underwater, and then just try and gradually accelerate through. Okay, minimise that wiggle as much as possible. So think about accelerating slowly. We're never going from 0 to 100. We're going accelerate.
So you're still accelerating the back half of the stroke?
We're accelerating through it all, but we're just, the rate of change of speed is just nice and slow. It's nice and gradual. So we're starting slow and we're picking it up. We're starting slow.
Pull throughs under the water. So just stay underwater the whole time?
The whole way. So we'll do one. And then get up, breathe, bring the arms through, have a wee skull, get ready, set it up,
And
and
you're
go
on
again.
top of the water, not underwater.
Yes.
Like that?
Yes. And it nice and smooth all the way through.
I think
What does it feel like?
It just feels a bit alien. I think that's why it feels fine.
It looked a lot better there. I want to do one more thing. The connection to the water looked a lot better. Did it feel much better?
Yeah, it did. 100%.
Yeah?
I wasn't wiggling at all.
Good, perfect. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, even just bringing that awareness to it, it just like completely makes sense.
Yeah,
'Cause I guess when you wiggle, then there's part of the stroke that isn't doing anything.
Yeah, it's slipping through the water. It's just that elbow position. I think we could maybe just get a little bit better when we're swimming, and again, more so with the left than the right. You're getting into a nice position, you're catching, and then there's a little bit of this. Okay? So just trying to get over it a little bit and swim through. I think we could just do a little bit of doggy paddle, just to get used to keeping that forearm, the upper arm still, and just moving that lower arm. Doggy paddle, I just want to be here. Brilliant. Good.
That is training done for the day, and thanks Pam for coming down, we really appreciate it. So yeah, 2-hour run done, some technique in the pool, some things to work on in the pool definitely, and hopefully has it been helpful routine.
It's been really good.
You swim.
Yeah, and running. It was nice to take along and just see what that effort was like for you, and then the swim for sure. It's always super beneficial to see how somebody's swimming.
Yeah, 100%.
Very good swim.
Oh, thanks. I've spent hours and years in the pool. I feel like when people say how to get better at swimming, it's literally just time, isn't it? Just time and years and kilometres in the water, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the thing. As a kid, you swim so much, and your brain's just a sponge to kind of learn all if you start a little bit later. It's a lot harder. You probably don't have the time to spend hours and hours and hours in the pool.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, so that's today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Make sure to like the video, leave us a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.